Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson here. Coming up this week in the Buffalo Stampede, the men's basketball team back from its long road trip. Recently came back from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're going to talk it over with KJ Simpson and Tad Boyle. Women's basketball off to a 4-1 start. We're going to meet freshman Jada Wynn, and we'll recap the Buffs football loss at Washington with Gary Barnett and Bobby Passavento. All this week in the Buffalo Stampede. Top Ethan White, wide open for three. Right between the eyes from downtown. Spins back around, gives to a cut to DeSilva down the lane. Left-handed layup is up and good. Nice cut that time by Trace. Going to push the ball up court all the way to the rim. Goes Hairborn, scooping up the window. Oh, what a shot by KJ. KJ open for three. Right between the eyes from downtown. Well, there's some highlights from the Colorado Buffaloes. They knocked off number 24 Texas A&M down at the Myrtle Beach Invitational. Back in the Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Point guard KJ Simpson joining us. We'll go back and talk about that one. Then we'll talk about the Boise game. Yeah. But nice bounce back for Colorado against number 24 Texas A&M. You guys came out and were very sharp early, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, we tend to have good bounce back games. I feel like our level of focus is just a lot better compared to, after a win.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game for sure, you could see the ball was shared. We all played defense. We rebounded the ball well.
He had a huge game, by the way, 30 points in that contest. Watching you in that game and doing the broadcast, you've always been aggressive on the court. This one you kind of seem to get a lot of second-level plays, if you will, where it came back to you, where you're kind of letting the game flow, help you out in that ball game, correct?
Yeah, because I noticed from the first game that, how they were kind of guarding me. Mm-hmm. They were trying to speed me up and everything. So I just wanted to let the game, come to not only myself, but the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And I just got, open shots.
You've always been an aggressive offensive player to begin with. Mm-hmm. When you play point guard, you've got to get other guys involved as well. How do you balance that?
It's just work, film, repetitions and stuff like that. And then you have to also just read the game, read what the defense is giving you. If the defense is giving me an opportunity to score, then take it. And, notice when guys are hot, notice when I need to hit them, stuff like that.
I don't remember I asked you, who do you pattern your game after? Who's somebody you looked up to growing up? And you say, that's the kind of player I want to be.
I say like everything in terms of like mentality and like the way I approach the game, probably my dad. But right now, probably like Ja Morant.
Okay.
I noticed, watched him a lot. Noticed him when he was at Murray State and then just kept going.
Yeah. Who's better right now in a one-on-one, you or your dad?
Oh, me.
Well, he's old, right?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah, that's me.
That was a silly question I asked him, wasn't it? Hey, after that victory over number 24 Texas A&M down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, we heard from head coach Tad Boyle. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Celebrate responsibly.
You guys were great at sharing the ball. I don't know how many assists we had. 22 assists, that's a team high. Guys, when we share the ball and make plays for each other, we got a chance to be really good. We handled pressure a little bit better tonight, than we did yesterday.
When you bounce back, that shows a lot about your character. Okay?
I'm tired of bouncing back. Yeah, I want to move forward.
Let's be consistent.
Move forward. Screw bouncing back. You got to understand that every time we step on the floor, we have an opportunity to, number one, improve this time of year, but also, gain a little bit of respect. And you don't gain respect when you're up and you're down and you don't. You gain respect by taking care of your business every single time you step on the floor. So we got to take care of business, whoever it is. So everybody got that? Okay?
There's the head coach of the Buffaloes in the locker room down in Myrtle Beach in Conway, South Carolina, as the Buffaloes knocked off number 24 Texas A&M. We continue with KJ Simpson. Then comes Boise State. You said something in the previous time we were chatting about bouncing back well. How does this team learn not to bounce back but stay consistent from game to game?
Exactly. I mean, that's really our biggest thing that we're trying to focus on. I mean, we tend to do good, after a loss in terms of not getting back-to-back losses, but we need to just keep winning. Maintain that same play that we do against those ranked opponents that we go against and we get those wins.
You know, that's the key for a very good basketball team, right?
Exactly.
Understanding. And Colorado's a very talented team. Make no mistake about it. This team's going to make a lot of noise this season. But that's the key where the team learns to play, to be the hunted every game. And understand we're going to play at a high level and make them play our game. Is that what you guys are kind of?
Exactly. Just being consistent, you know, not rising to the level of expectation because of a team. Going into every game, you know, it's looking at the opponent the same and just staying consistent for sure.
You know, when you look at some of the leaders on this team, yourself and Tristan and guys like that, you've been talking about this the last few days?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, me and Tristan have been talking a lot, been making sure that all the guys, you know, we're all together. We don't, you know, hang our heads. It's still the beginning of the season, still a lot of games left to play. But yeah, me and Tristan, you know, we're looking, you know, to lead this team, and we've kind of been in a similar situation last year. Yeah. So now we understand what this team needs, and that's why this week of practice is going to be really important.
You know, that's the Buffs get back now. They've had that long road trip, which was taxing on this team. Now they get home for a few days before they've got their next ball game coming up on Sunday. It's good to get back in practice court, isn't it? Though?
Yeah, it felt weird a little bit coming in here arena. I'm not gonna lie.
How was that long trip for you guys? How'd you make it through that?
You know, before I left, I said, you know, it was gonna be up and down, and it surely was. We learned a lot about ourselves, but I feel like there's a lot of positive that we could take away for sure.
Buffs have got Yale coming to town. It's going to be a big game for Jalen, isn't it? Seeing these old fellas?
Yeah.
Hey, keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you.
All right, there's our point guard for the Colorado Buffaloes, KJ Simpson, as the Buffs look forward to that ball game against the Bulldogs on Sunday here at the Event Center. Coming up next in the Stampede, we're going to talk with the head coach, Tad Boyle.
Kick out behind him, right open for three. Fires right between the eyes from downtown. Caught by Lover. Kick out high on the left side. Ruffin open for three. Fires, and he trains that one from downtown. A sound rebound. Clippers got it. Put back is up and in. Count it. Whistle and a foul. Oh, nice job inside.
Well, there's some highlights from the Myrtle Beach Invitational with the Colorado Buffaloes in the second round. They knocked off number 24 Texas A&M back in the Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, Tad Boyle. So here you are. You're 1-2 in Myrtle Beach. What's your postscript?
Postscript is we're a mediocre team right now. We are the epitome of mediocrity, which is ordinary. We're not good. We're not bad. We're just mediocre. Sure. And there's nothing worse than mediocrity when you're a coach. I mean, I've coached bad teams. I've coached good teams. At least you know what you got. With a mediocre team, you don't know what you have, and it's not the standard of this program. So we got a lot of work to do, Mark.
Well, I was going to say that's got to be the toughest thing approaching each and every day. Are you going to get the Colorado Buffalo team versus Tennessee, Texas A&M? Are you going to get the team versus Grambling State and Boise? And that's what this group's got to kind of figure out by itself, right?
Absolutely, absolutely we do, and it's consistency from an effort standpoint and a toughness standpoint. You know, we're a team that's selectively hungry. Mm-hmm. You know, when we have a full belly, we want to sit down and take a nap and have people tell us how good we are. We had a full belly after Tennessee. We had a full belly after Texas A&M. Guess what? Boise doesn't care. Yeah. UMass doesn't care. I mean, our opponents want to win too. They have game plans. They have scouting reports. We think we're the only ones that are going through, you know, tough times or, you know, got to figure things out. Everybody's trying to figure things out right now. And it's a college basketball, you know, college football, you name the sport, is a zero-sum game. There's winners and there's losers. You know, I'm still trying to get my arms around the World Cup when you get points for a tie. I can't do it, but that's that sport. That's not our sport.
Right. Selectively hungry, like that phrase, by the way.
Yeah.
So when you're coaching a basketball team, there's one thing when you've got physical things. Okay, maybe we're not the best rebounding team. We can work on that. Maybe we don't shoot that well. You can work on that. How do you approach a team when it happens to be up here between the ears?
You got to challenge them, and I got to do a better job. Our staff has to do a better job of teaching and letting them know what's acceptable, what's not. Look, if we play hard and we get beat, and somebody beats us because they're the better team, I get it, but that's not what's happened in the 3 losses we've had. So I have to do a better job. I mean, I got to challenge guys, make them live in reality, not in the world that they're living in.
Buffalo's back home after their 11, almost 12-day road trip, in fact, playing in Nashville and Louisiana and South Carolina. Now they're back home for a game coming up on Sunday. By the way, right now we want to introduce you here in the Buffalo Stampede to the newest member of the tennis team here at Colorado.
Powered by Ford. Cars, trucks, and SUVs built for America. Built Ford proud.
Today I'm really happy to offer both of you spots on the team and really hope that you will sign it, accept our offer.
We are here to join the CU tennis team. They've had some challenging times in the last couple of years with COVID and Claire's diagnosis of leukemia, and so it's been so great to have this experience, to be able to join a team and be a part of a team, having these female role models and being able to have women to look up to and be able to do things with has just been wonderful.
As we all know, today is a very, very special day for our program. The one common theme about playing tennis here at Colorado is that we ask our players to be fearless, selfless, and to never give up.
Go Buffs!
Thank you so much to Team Impact. It's been an amazing experience and we are so glad and so fortunate to have it. The role model piece I think is really important to them. I am an alum. I graduated from the School of Education several years ago, and so I've just loved Boulder. I've loved CU. The university has been amazing to me, and so it's been great to be able to continue to be a part of the university. We often go to CU events, basketball games and football games, and so it's been wonderful to now be a part of it.
Go Buffs!
It's a great signing by the tennis team here at the University of Colorado. We're back with head coach Stan Boyle. Bubble is getting ready to take on Yale on Sunday. You said in the postgame on Sunday afterward that there was going to be some work to be done once you got back. You've actually got an extended period of time now to do some practicing.
We do, and we look at great holiday and Thanksgiving coming up too. We all have a lot to be thankful for. So we got to find perspective in this thing too. So there's a lot of things going on in the world that are more important than college basketball. But with that being said, this week is an opportunity for our team to get better, and we don't have any restrictions. The NCAA chains are off of us as coaches. We can get in the gym, get in the weight room, get in the film room, shoot free throws. We got a lot to get better at, and this week we need it right now. We need it badly.
Early on, a lot of times you kind of have a set idea about who's going to start, who's going to come off the bench. Is all of that coming off this trip kind of up in the air for you?
Yeah, I don't look. There's a couple guys who have kind of set themselves apart a little bit from a defensive standpoint. We got a lot of guys that are, again, you look at that stat sheet, you look at our offensive efficiencies, assist to turnover ratio, field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, free throw percentage. A lot of guys aren't holding up their end of the bargain in terms of what they expected themselves or what we expected them. So when you have that and you got multiple guys, it's like throwing darts on the dartboard and you're just hoping you hit it.
Well, they got Yale coming up on Sunday here at the Event Center as they get back from South Carolina. Coming up next here in the Bubble Stampede, we're going to talk women's basketball with freshman Jada Wynn. Great victory for the Colorado volleyball team. How about this? First time they ever won in Seattle as they swept the Huskies. Back in the Bubble Stampede, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. We're standing on the basketball. It's the volleyball court now that I think about it as well. But we're talking basketball. Jada Wynn joining us, a freshman out of Yorba Linda, California. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Did you play volleyball?
I did not.
You did not?
No.
Okay. Well, a lot of times basketball players will cross over.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of the same skill sets, right?
Very
You jump high, you're tall, all those kind of things. How you enjoying your time at Colorado? Freshman year, you're a few months in. How you feeling?
I like it. I like it a lot. It's been an adjustment with the snow and everything.
Right.
But definitely getting used to it. I mean, everyone here has been very helpful, very nice, and I love the team and everything that JR kind of instills in us and how our season's going so far.
How'd you become a Buffalo, coming from California? How'd this happen?
It's kind of a long story, but short version is JR gave me a call and came on a visit here, and I was just like, yep, this is it. Like, I'm coming.
You saw the mountains and said, that's it, right?
Guess
It's Colorado.
so.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not come here? Hey, the victory over Air Force.
Yeah.
You guys are sitting at 4-1 right now. Had a very hard-fought loss to Texas Tech in overtime. You play Air Force. That can be a tough game at times. Give us a comment or two about that one.
Yeah. Well, going into the game, we knew the Air Force was going to be resilient and not go away, and I think they did just that, and we did a good job of responding to that. I felt like we played together, and we just grinded it out and got a good team win. So.
When you're a freshman, you come into a program, you're the one that's getting absorbed into them, right? And so what is it about this culture that she's created that you like and making you guys successful?
I mean, she's very big on details and like doing the little things, and I think that's what makes us great, and that's what's gonna, the details definitely catch up to you, and that's what's gonna give us discipline in order to get those wins, those tougher wins down the road. But yeah, and I like how it's very like positive energy, and I don't know, the practices are all like always consistent, good energy. We know what we're getting out of everyone.
Sure.
And so it's been good.
Well,
Yeah.
you're on JR and that staff. They're all very positive all the time. you
Yes.
know? Jada Wynn, we're going to continue with her, but let's hear from J.R. Payne after the Buffaloes knocked off Air Force.
Position now, Tam, nice spin move, driving the lane, kick out. Foreman for three, got it.
Wow. I told the team right after shoot around, and we just sort of reiterated it in here. Anytime you play the Air Force Academy, Chris Gobrecht does an incredible job with her teams. They are ultimately one of the toughest, most resilient, hard-nosed teams that we play all year. And tonight, this afternoon was certainly no different. We expected a dogfight and we got one. Just proud of how we responded in the second half. I thought we picked up our tenacity and confidence and aggressiveness in the second half, which I think was the key to us, being able to sort of play better basketball. I'm so proud of how we responded, and certainly, again, a lot of things that we can continue to grow in.
There's the head coach of the Buffaloes. They're sitting at 4-1 after they knocked off the Air Force Falcons. We continue with the Jada Wynn freshman for the Buffaloes. So we're talking about where you came from. You're Belinda. You come from a basketball family.
Yeah.
I mean, you had no choice no matter. Everyone's a basketball player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about your parents. They're coaching, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
My parents have coached for like 25 years now.
Okay.
And it's always been something that we've grown up in. Like, I was literally born in a basketball gym. So they're really, they tried their best to give me other options of hey, you want to try soccer or volleyball? I never tried volleyball, but
Yeah.
other different sports. And I tried them, but basketball was always the one that really stuck with me. And I loved it so much. That's all we ever talked about, at the dinner table and all that. And so it's been really nice having them as coaches and being able to give me advice down the road. And I definitely think that my IQ has been one of my strongest assets
Sure.
due to them. So
Because
I'm
you're
very
around
thankful.
the X's and O's and how to execute and game plans all the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you must be on a court thinking somewhat like a coach because you've been around that your whole career, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been good because it's my parents they're both married and they coached together for so long, and then seeing JR and Toriano,
Yeah.
it's just very similar, very familiar atmosphere, and so I feel really comfortable.
Boy, with the holidays being around, as families like to, play a little backyard football or something, the pickup games in the driveways at your place must be incredible.
Yeah, they are good, but somebody always gets mad or
Sure.
annoyed and ends up being I'm done. But
When you've got parents that are coaches, is there ever that odd delineation between it's my coach, it's my mom, or it's my dad?
yeah, definitely. I mean, we've had a lot of little tiffs and arguments about
Sure.
things, but I feel as I've gotten older and matured a little bit, we've been able to kind of reconcile that.
You guys, very quickly, got a big trip coming up this week. Got to go to play at Tennessee. Give us
Yes.
a quick thought about that.
I mean, we're excited. Tennessee,
Great program.
yeah, great program, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a good atmosphere. I mean, they're coming off a couple losses. Hopefully, we're going to give them one more.
I like it.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Congratulations on a
Thank
great
you.
start to your freshman campaign. 8 points, 3 rebounds per game for Jada Wynn as she joins us here in the Buffalo Stampede. Coming up next, we can talk football. Buffaloes were on the road this last weekend. We'll recap with Coach Gary Barnett.
Scans, rears back, rifles it down the left side, and Montana Limonius Craig at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Coming off the bench, JT Shrout throws a little lob down the left-hand side and a long touchdown for Colorado. Well, there was one play in the ball game. That's a 69-yard touchdown pass from JT Shrout to Montana Limonius Craig. Back in the Buffalo Stampede, a long night here in Seattle, Washington, 54-7. The Buffaloes fall to number 15 Washington. Coach Gary Barnett, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. That one was tough to do. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to cling to in a ball game like that.
It was embarrassing, actually, Mark, and we don't use words like that very often, but
No.
that was an embarrassing performance by this football program. And as we said when we wrapped up, all we can do is evaluate the performance, and if the performance was because we're not any better than that, that's as good as we are, then shame on us. And if it's because of effort, then shame on them.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to look themselves in the eye and say, what is going on with this football team?
Yeah, right now it's painful. The Buffaloes are 1-9 in the season, 1-6 in Pac-12 conference play. Now it's just kind of playing a string out. Everyone's kind of got their eye on the new coach whenever he gets here. Problem is, Gary, we got one more game left, and Mike's got to try and guide this thing just to get it over with.
Well, I feel for those coaches.
Yeah.
Because I know they are trying like crazy to get something out of these players right now, and put a game together. And it just gets worse every week. But I know coaches will work their fannies off to try to get something on that field that's representative.
Yeah. Now the evaluation process, I like the way you talked about it in the post-game on the radio. You said we need to intellectualize this. And you're looking in the heart of guys and their character in terms of what they're doing and what they're willing to offer down the stretch of the season.
Well, and we can't evaluate that. Only they can evaluate that. And that's what I mean. We can only evaluate the performance. That performance was not acceptable.
Yeah.
Now, was it because they can't do better, or is it because they won't do better?
Yeah.
That's the answer. That's the question.
Yeah. The Buffaloes fall to 54-7. We saw the one highlight, such as it was, and after the ball game, we heard from the guy who caught it, Montana Lemonius Craig.
I mean, for me personally, I would say it's not too hard to stay focused because at the end of the day, I'm here to play football and go to school. So, I mean, that's above what I have to worry about. So, I believe we have the right people in higher positions to be able to maintain that situation. But for me, it's not too hard to stay focused on playing at all. I love this game, and it's something that I enjoy doing. So, week in, week out, I'm always go out and give it my all. I mean, at the end of the day, you're either going to fight or fold, and I'm not going to fold up, so I'm going to fight to the end. So it's not really tough for me. It's just you got to keep coming back, because at the end of the day, if you give up, it's over with at that point. Once you check out, the game is done. So I never believe it's done until the zero's on the clock. Until then, I'm always keep going. The seniors, this is their last home game coming up versus Utah. I'll go out there giving my all for this team, for my brothers on this team, and I feel like that's us as a whole unit. That's what we're all going to do. So that's going to keep us going, to keep us up to go out there and play our hardest for this last game.
There's Montana Lemonius Craig. He had the one touchdown of 69 yards. Buffs fall 54-7. Yeah, we changed guys here. Gary's gone. We're bringing our quarterback, Bobby Passavento. He was on the sideline. What do you want to say about this one?
It was tough. I mean, let's give Washington some credit. They're
good football team.
They're pretty good,
yeah.
really good.
Good
Their quarterback's really good. Mm-hmm. But, the thing that I struggled with today was just that it didn't seem like there was a lot of effort there. Yeah. I mean, it started off bad, and it just continued. There wasn't a whole lot of fight. I mean, minus that long pass down the sideline for a touchdown. I mean, there was nothing that was really great that happened today for the Buffs.
Gary and I were just talking about the evaluation that goes on now. I mean, Mike's got to try and get this thing to the finish line. And you know this, you talked to a lot of former players, talked to fans. I mean, right now everyone's kind of looking over the horizon, wondering, okay, who's the guy they're going to bring in that's going to take this thing over and turn it around?
Yeah, I mean, they got one more game to prove themselves. Yeah. And, and I don't know if our expectation should be, are we going to beat a Utah team? But I think we just need to hope that these kids come out and play hard and fight and give a heck of a lot of effort. And, I think that's the best we can hope for right now. And then hopefully we find the right guy to take it over.
Well, we know from a fan perspective how tough this is. As a guy that's been out in the field like this and left his blood, sweat, and tears and win a Big 12 championship, how tough is this for you and your friends to kind of watch?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of emotions. It's frustrating. It makes you mad. It makes you sad for all the people that love this place and the fans that love this university, because, this isn't what we're used to. And so it's hard to watch, and a lot of guys are frustrated. But, come with frustration, it gives somebody an opportunity to do something about it if they to choose to step up and do something about it.
Yeah, at some point it does when you're a player. It comes down a little right here, right? A little pride.
Yeah, it's never fun going through games like this. Nobody likes to lose, but especially losing this way. I mean, there's got to be something inside these guys that want to fight back and play better.
Hey, it's sometime that your name's on a jersey too. You fight for Colorado, you fight for the name on the back of the jersey. That's Bobby Passavento. I'm voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Tough one though here in Seattle. Buffs fall 54-7. We put a wrap this week at Buffalo Stampede. We'll talk to you next time.